It's another beautiful day here in East Texas, and welcome back to the channel. We're going to continue to work on this 1972 GTO 404 speed, and we're working on the floors. And I wanted to show you something that I just ran into. The gift that keeps on giving, which is rust. I tell you what, if you have rust in your car, let me see. It's trying to focus. There it is. In the previous video, I removed the floor on the front, and there's my dog right there. And then I knew I had to maybe do some patching here behind the back seat area on the floor. But I want to say that, when you have rust, always expect to find more rust. So if you go by that, you're going to be okay, and you will not be disappointed. That's why I'm going to call this the rust, the gift that keeps on giving, because where there's rust, you're going to find more. So I started digging here in the back, and I found more rust here. And then I found some more rust over here on the toe boards towards the transmission tunnel, and over here on this corner, and areas here and there. But to make a long story a little bit shorter is I'm going to replace the floor pan here, and I had put a line right there more or less where I'm going to cut it and replace this whole section here. I already ordered the part, it's already here. So it has some bracing right there on that corner. I already removed that. And the car is pretty nice and sturdy. Otherwise, it's not gonna move. Everything, it's holding together. So I need to remove the whole side right there, the whole bottom part of the rear seat area. Let me show you the parts that I got for it, so you can have an idea. I'm just gonna walk up to it. I got it right here on the floor. That's the area or the pan for the lower part of the seat in the rear, and there's the two halves for the front floor, should I say, all the way to the toe boards and the transmission tunnel. And so you can see there's the two panels. Again, they're split down the middle, but that's the way they come for easy installation. So I'm just going to take that on there and get that done. You can see the brands there. I'm not a sponsor, but these pans are real nice and correct, and they look really nice. The other one that I wasn't real happy about it, but still gonna work, is this brand here. As you can see there, it's the flooring part of it. It's the details and the parts that go right here. I shouldn't say the parts. The indentations, they're different than stock, but you know what? I'm okay with it. This thing's trying to focus. So I'm just going to remove the rust and go from there. So this is what I'm running into. The car, I had it in the previous video up on my lift here in my shop. Then now that I'm retired, I can have a lift and work 24/7 if I have to. But anyways, there goes my dog again. His name is Mo. He's just cutting into the scene here. But anyways, I removed the car from there because I wanted to have better access to it. And as you can see, I got it kind of propped up on a homemade rotisserie that I made. From the previous videos, you can see that I've done that on the chassis, the frame. Put a 2x4 right there to kind of stabilize it and keep it from rocking back and forth while I'm working on it. I put one on the opposite corner, and this is working out really good. It really tilts, and I got access to the bottom of the car, so I won't have to be under it all the time. So that really works. I'm sure on the next coming footage of the videos, you'll see how this can just swing to the side, and I can work under it. And I have my lights right here, so you can see a little bit better from this side, a different angle, and it looks a little bit dark there. But anyways, this is what I got so far. On the floor, you can see all the rust and debris that has been coming out as I'm banging and cutting and doing stuff like that. So that's what it looks like so far. And the bracing here in the middle of the car is real nice and sturdy. There's no rust on that whatsoever. I think they were treated for the factory. I want to say that because they're really, there's no problem with those. Along with this one here, I just need to clean it up. It runs all the way over there that way. So there's a lot of cleaning, a lot of stuff that I got to do. The gift that keeps on giving, right? There's some rust right there on the kick panel and transmission tunnel and all that. I already have a line, kind of pretty much let me know how long my my replacement panels are. So it kind of gives me an idea, so I don't cut too much. And I'm just gonna overlap those and kind of go from there. But you know what, guys? You're always gonna find extra work, extra rust, and we're not even done with the. We haven't even begun on the outside, so that's a whole totally different story. Not to mention, you know, wheel wells. You see some holes right there. Wheel well housings. Floor pan for the trunk. Well, trunk pan, I suppose. I do have that coming, so it's just going to be continuous body work and metal work on this car. But I'm happy about it. I just continue to work on it, not thinking how much work it needs. The more you think about how much work you got ahead of you, the more that you're going to have like a mental block in trying to get it done or try to even get started. So don't do that. Just go step by step, you know, do one step at a time. And before you know, you're going to complete 10 steps. So don't be discouraged if you got something like this. Just keep on going and until you finish. You'll be surprised how many projects get started like this and they never get finished and they get sold for hardly nothing. And then nobody will want a project like this because it's just so overwhelming, so much work. What else? Oh, I wanted to show you what I did back here too, as far as keeping the car from steady so that so it won't move. So I have another 2x4 that I put right here on this corner to keep the car from rocking back and forth while I'm working on it. I also connected it there with a 2x4. I'm using 2x4s because that's what I had on hand. So you guys can use whatever you got on hand so you don't have to go and buy additional materials. So I had that on hand, so I used that. So the 2x4 in the middle connects this engine stand that was made for this rotisserie and connects the front one. So when I roll the car, they don't want, you know, that'll stay together and they won't bind and stuff like that. Right here, I installed or I put on another scrap piece of metal here, which is a 2x2 tubing that I did to create my rotisserie. So it's a 2x4. I installed it here on the original bumper brackets. They're real nice and strong, and they connect to the body and the frame part of the body or the reinforcement of the body. And I put it right in the center, right in the middle. So I did the same thing with the front, and they worked out pretty good. I'll show you the front here in a minute because I don't think I've shown you that before. So this just gives you an idea, start on what I'm doing, and then of course I'm going to give you, you know, some footage on the work on the floor. A lot of stuff is like that is, well, to me it's kind of boring, but because, you know, I work hours and hours and hours and then I shrink the video like to 20 minutes. So but this gives you an idea of what's going on so far. This kind of a heads up, and I know that I may talk a lot, but some of this stuff needs to be explained. You can see some more rust right there. That big old bracket, supporting bracket, goes right there. I went ahead and jerked it off the best I could. I still need to repair those areas there. There's also some rust there that I need to clean up. There's the bottom. So this is all going to get cleaned up and it's going to be as good as new or better than new because it's all going to be protected, not like it was from the factory. The same thing here on the front. I wanted to show you on the rotisserie. I did the same thing here, a 2x2 square tubing, and I drilled some holes and put some some bolts attached right there where the original frame bushings will go. So it's real nice and strong there. So it's holding the car real nice and sturdy and good. You can see the part of the 2x4 that I installed here on the front to keep these two makeshift engine stands to do this homemade rotisserie, and it's working good for me. You don't have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars, guys. You just have to use a lot of common sense and get things done. The same thing, you know, like I said before, 2x4 here. So I got one in the corner here, and one on the caddy corner on the other side, and it keeps everything sturdy. So I do have a bolt here in the middle that keeps that from spinning too. So I just didn't want to have a chance to for this thing to, you know, scare me or flip over or try to flip over on me while I'm working on it and create some damage to the car and to me especially. Then we're gonna get to all the other rust issues that this car has, but I'm just gonna keep on going, you know, without getting discouraged. And it's not so bad once you decide that you're gonna keep on working on it, and we're gonna get it done. So I wanted to give you a preliminary view of what's going on with it, so you kind of catch up with what I got going here. So I'm gonna be. Oh, I wanted to show you. Let me go over here. I want to show you a parts car that I have that is gonna help me complete this car. So let me walk on over here and show you this parts car real quick. I'm walking up to this parts car here so you can see what I got. This is a 1972 A-body car by Buick, and it's basically the same thing underneath. It's a GTO, Chevelle, Le Mans, Cutlass. So this is the parts car that I bought, very, very cheap here in the general area. So I'm gonna get a bunch of body parts off of it, stuff that I need. It's got some nice quarter panels on it. The parts that I need, they're right there on that corner. You can see my shadow there as I'm filming. So I need to get those parts off right there, and those braces right there that I need on both sides. The floors are totally gone on this one, but I don't need any of that. I am going to be selling a lot of these parts on this Skylark. That's what this is. There's the dash that came out of it. So got a lot of parts that are still good and usable. Quarter panels are real good, so I'm not going to hack those at all. Got a good trunk lead that I'm going to be using. A lot of body parts that are good. A lot of odds and ends. Chrome pieces, windows, extra doors. I don't need, well, the doors are different than the Pontiac, but the guts inside and glass is the same. A lot of wiring in case I need it. A lot of extra body parts that I might be needing. So I just want to show you that. I keep all my nuts and bolts in my special little bucket that I made. It does have a frame. This car, it did not come with any suspension or rear end, but I do have a lot of parts that go with this car. Let's see. Got a door right there. It's in real good shape, but it's for a Skylark. So, but the window, it's good. Dash, all kinds of interior parts. But I want to show you this. So this is the parts that I'm going to be doing, and that's what what I'm going to be getting to complete the GTO. So there you go, guys. You have to just kind of think ahead of time. And I was thinking ahead of time, so I started looking for a parts car. So I knew I would need one. It'll be a lot cheaper that way than buying parts individually. That's the way you can save a lot of money. But anyhow, I'm going to get back to doing the floor. So I just wanted to show you this parts car real quick so you can see what I'm doing. And show you a little bit close up, a little more personal on what's going on behind the scenes here. So let's get back to, let's go, goes my dog again. Let's get back to the car and start doing the floors. And here we go again, guys. It's another beautiful hot day in East Texas. I've done a bunch of work since the last video because I ran into a lot of issues here on the floor pan underneath the rear seat. I'm gonna try to explain it real quick without taking too much time. But bottom line, I started doing the regular floor pans on the front, you know, up to this frame rail here. Well, actually, this frame rail here. And then this was behind the rear seat area, and I found a bunch of rust there. You know, and I was making fun and saying that rust is the gift that keeps on giving, because no matter, when you find some rust, you're going to find some more and some more and some more. So the more I dug, the more I found. So I ended up removing the whole floor section here behind the rear seat. I found some more rust right there, and then right there, which I'm going to address later, because I'm not going to get into it right now. You can see the holes right there in the back. I also found some more rust on the lower part of that area there where the window regulator will go on the inside structure of the quarter panel. I already patched it up off camera. It looks kind of dark right there, but because I painted it with black anti-corrosion paint to keep it from getting rusted again. The same thing with it here. I did have a hard time removing the structure here, reinforcement structure there, but anyway, this is what it looks like. It's patchwork. I'm not very proud of it, but it's going to do the job, and it looks worse than what it is because of the black paint, but it's nice and sound and it's not rusty anymore. So I do have the rear panel ready that goes here behind the rear seat, and I'm going to show it to you. I already have it prepped because all this work takes a lot of prepping and a lot of work. As you can see, look at all the debris and rust and dirt and stuff that came off for this project as I was banging and grinding and doing stuff like that. Look at all that mess down there on the floor. Let me show you the panel, which I have over here. I already prepped it and primered it with some red oxide paint. And I got stuff everywhere. I know, I got stuff everywhere. So I prepped it and did all the holes there to line up with the brace that goes underneath the floor. Same thing over there. So that's where I'm going to put all the spot welds. So nice and primered, and it's ready to go. I already trimmed it multiple times. Trimmed it on the side there. Trimmed it all kinds of different ways to make it fit anyways. But it's ready to go, so I'm going to set it on there. I already got everything kind of ready to go because I don't want to do a real long video on doing a lot of grinding, a lot of cutting, a lot of drilling, a lot of prepping. That would have, I've been working on this video here for days, and a little bit frustrated with it. I did find some more rust than what I intended to do, so I'm just going to go step by step. So I'm going to put that piece, which is a brand new floor pan for the rear seat, and I'm going to show you where it goes. So let me get that started, and let me try to set that on there. And I already got some screws, so I'm going to screw it down tight so I can start doing some welding. So let's get this going. So there we go, we got you set up. I'm going to go over here and grab this panel off camera, but you'll see me coming into view here in a second. This is how it's going to fit in place over the top here, like so. It takes about 3 hands to get this in place, but I'm just going to take it a step at a time and try to position it in place on this end first, and then around the top and in place. Come around the side here. Sounds like it wants to, but anyways, sorry if I'm in view here. So I'm gonna go ahead and line it up with some Clico fasteners that I got to line it up into position, and then we're gonna start screwing it down and putting some spot welds on. And this is the easy part, guys. The hard part was to get this to fit, trim it to fit. This pan is for a Chevelle, Skylark, GTO, Le Mans, so slightly different. And it's not like the original, but that's what is available, and it's better than having a rusty pan, that's for sure. So let me try to get that in position and line it up with the Clicos. This is the easy part, trying to get this in place and then doing all the spot welds there. I did decided here to put just the lip over the top. Originally, this pan here goes underneath this pan, or this panel here. But in order to do that, I'll have to remove this whole panel. And I didn't want to do that because it would just create a bunch of work. And then to remove this panel, I had to remove this panel and so on and so forth. So I just trimmed it here and just lined up the edges. And it's going to be fine. You won't even be able to tell after I'm done that some work was done after I get finished with it. So I just tried to make things easier for me and for the job and everything else. You need to find ways of not creating too much work for you. And it's still going to look just fine. So anyways, I just thought I'd let you know that. And then, of course, this pan needed to go first because the pan that goes here, it goes on top of this one. So that part is going to be the same as original. So we put another clico here, the little holes that I pre-drilled, and this is just to line it up. That's what these clicos do. I like to use them. They come in real handy. It's just a way to line up the panel, take it off and on multiple times, and going back to the same holes. That's all it does. You know, it look like little bullets, but they're spring loaded, and they hold the panel in place. That's all it does. Nothing fancy. It just looks fancy, but it just holds it in place on the same spot over and over again until you get it nice and finally decide where you're gonna put it. Anyways, there we go, right there. So I'm gonna start by clamping it down first, taking up all these gaps here, these gaps here, as you can see. I'm gonna clamp it down right here, nice and tight. And then this one is gonna give it the strength, and also, you know, it's gonna suck up the panels together so I can start doing some spot welds. Let's get this thing clamped down, and maybe even some self-tapping screws just to hold it down. I might do that. Sometimes it works better with the self-tapping screws just to hold it down. It's just that you have to come back and fill the little gaps or the holes when you pull the screws out. So maybe I'll do that. It'll be easier than putting a bunch of clamps everywhere. A lot of people do it with, I've seen it where they got like 20 clamps lined up on this, and that works too, but sometimes you know, the clamps can get in the way. And sometimes, like over here on this end of the rail, you cannot put any clamps on there. So I'm just gonna put some self-tapping screws and screw it down. It's in strategic places, so it'll suck it all the way down and start, you know, spot welding. This is the kind of screw that I'm going to be using, self-tapping, regular self-tapping screw. So whatever you got, I reuse these over and over again until, you know, they get wore out, and then I just, you know, get rid of them and get some new screws. So let me get this thing screwed down and tight so we can start doing some welding. Okay, I got that pretty much down. And if there's any more gaps, I'm just gonna put the vice grip on while I do the welding, and then move around and get more. I might as well put some more screws there. Let's see how this is gonna go. Putting another little screws here on this other row. might have to climb in there. You know what? I think that's what I'll do. Might as well do it now. You know, when I say I get into my work, check this out, guys. I really get into my work. Literally. And this is where all that yoga, exercise pays in. You gotta be flexible, be able to do all this shenanigans at my age. Get things done. Let's see. A few more. I'm gonna put a few up here to hold everything nice and tight. Need to climb out of this car because I didn't get enough screws. So let me get some more. Hiya! A few more up there and maybe some back there on that area, and I think we're gonna be kind of golden here to get this kind of going. Ain't nothing but work. It's all in the prep. Okay, I think we got enough. I think so. We're gonna remove these clicos because we don't need them anymore. It's been held by those screws. So for the last time, this pen is gonna stay now. Not taking it off anymore. And I think that's it, guys. I'm gonna go back. Well, I need a couple of more. Maybe on this end over here. Okay. I think that's enough. Screw in those screws to suck everything up and get everything nice and flush. As you can see here, nice and flush and everything's tight. Start putting some spot welds. But first I'm gonna get my drill bit and I'm gonna go down in the holes like this before I do the spot welds. And that's to clear up all that primer that is on there, so that when I can start my arc with the welding. Because if not, it's not gonna want to stick or weld. So I need to do that. So let me get that going, and let me set up the welder and maneuver out here again. So just that's what it is, guys. Workout every day, getting in and out of this car and making sure you don't end up on the floor. power on your head. Okay. I'm just gonna give an example of what I'm about to do. Just do that lightly, just to expose the bare metal, so it'll catch. Anyways, you get the idea. I've done them all already. And we're going to start tack welding and see how far we can get on it today. Okay, we're going to try one weld to see how my setting, see if I need to adjust it or what. So let's start by doing one before we climb up in the side of this car. Get that junk out of the way. Gonna try to get the easy ones first, and let's see how this welder is gonna work. Do the easy one. Let's see. This one looks like an easy one. And let's try this again. A little more power here. It's a little bit better. Let's continue. What's going on with my... Let's try this again. Having trouble with the tip. Oh, okay. I think I'm not ready to climb in there. And now that I got this thing going, I'm just gonna keep on welding, huh? What else is there? Oh, they moved the camera. I don't know where I'm at now, guys. Let me go check. Let's try that for now. I'm gonna turn on this fan because it's super hot, and this kind of helps. Let me, no, I guess no fan for now. Try this again. Just keep going. Well, guys, good enough. I'm sure I still have to come back and do some more weld touch up, but for now, good. And here we go, guys. It's another day. I wanted to show you the progress on this floor pan behind the rear seat on this 1972 GTO. I went ahead and did all the welding, all the spot welds, and everything. What you can see right now is that I have put, I already grinded the spot welds down, and I put some of that black paint on there to kind of protect it from the elements. And I want to show you what it looks like. I had a bunch of runs right there, but it doesn't matter because it's all got to be covered up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some seam sealer over the welds to keep the welds from being exposed to the elements or getting moisture under there. Then after that, I'm going to go ahead and put some more, some of that red oxide primer, and then we're going to move into doing the front floors. So let me put this camera down. I want to show you what it looks like right now, and then we're going to address that rust over there later at another time. So right now we're just going to concentrate on this floor pan underneath the rear seat for now. And then we're gonna finish up on the or complete the floor pans here on the front. So for right now, in case you were wondering, we're gonna do those spots later. So let me go ahead and I got my body seam sealer ready. Is the brush on type? I'm gonna brush it on with the brush, and I think that's the best way that I found that I can do it. You can do it different ways. You can do it with an applicator, or with a caulking gun. It all depends what you get, but I like the brush because you can really get into those nooks and crevices. So let me set this camera up, and let's put on there that brushable seam sealer. Here we go. And this is what I got. I got this disposable brushes that I bought at the local harbor. Throwaway stuff, real cheap. And this is the seam sealer that I got, made by these guys here. Not sponsored, but I got a real good deal on these. I got 3 pints or quarts, should I say, and it's gray. So I'm gonna climb in there and start brushing that on. So let me go on the other side so you can see what I'm doing. Sorry, the lighting's kind of bad, but I got the light on, my spotlights over here, my work lights and everything. I'm just gonna take it on Like I said, to seal those spot welds to get a better outcome. You can do it a bunch of different ways. It's the way I do it, whatever works for you. So I'm going to start with the small brush and get it real nice and dip it in there. It's kind of like pudding. So I'm just going to dab it on, maybe too much. Perfect, huh? I think that's it, guys. So we only use about this much of it, so we got plenty. Plus, you know, we're gonna dab it on real good. I put some in this area here where the wheel well meets the inside of the quarter panel structure. It had some there from the factory. I removed it when I was cleaning everything up, so I'm putting some there as well. I got it dabbed everywhere. So let me show you what my plan is. You might be thinking, well, you know, you're putting a lot of seam sealer, so how are you going to do when you put the new panel here, and how are you going to weld it? So I'm going to go in between the seam sealer spots. That way I can go ahead and weld a new panel. So I'm going to skip in between, and that's how I'm going to go ahead and weld this other panel that goes on top of this. So that's how I'm going to handle that. So that's easy to explain, and that way, you know, this is better than factory. The factory didn't even do this. They just put metal to metal, bare metal, and if moisture got in there, it gets rotted out. Another area that I need to fix, and you can see the daylight inside this wheel well housing. I need to cut that area off from underneath, and then I'm gonna patch it and put a nice patch. A patch may sound bad, but if it's done correctly, I mean, instead of removing the inside wheel well and removing everything, I mean, you're creating a whole lot of problems. So you can easily trim this piece here, form it, put it on just with the same shape, tack it on, put undercoating on, or seam sealer. You'll never know that it was repaired, and it'll look just better. It'll look good, just as good as factory. As good as OEM, huh? Let me get out of here, and I'll show you close up on this. Let me put I'll take the brush with me, and let me do my yoga moves and get out of this car. And whoa, feel like a Karate Kid. Let me get this out of here. I only used the 1-inch brush. This is a throwaway brush, so it costs hardly nothing. So I'm done with it. I'm gonna throw it away. I also purchased some 2-inch in case I needed it for the bigger areas, but this worked out just perfectly. And like I said, I only used about this much from the top, so we have plenty. And I have 3 of these, so to do the whole car. So I was thinking ahead and got a great deal on 3 of them instead of buying one, excuse me, one at a time. So I'm gonna seal this back up. I'm gonna throw this little brush away, and I'm gonna show you what this looks like up close. So this is what it looks like up close with a seam sealer. So I'm just going far and beyond and try to protect this so this will not happen again. This car is over, what, from 1972, so what, over 50 years old, around there. So anyways, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and put another coat of red oxide primer. And then on top of that, I'm going to go ahead and put some black anti-corrosion black paint on top of that. And then, and this is on the inside, then I'm going to do that on the underside. So dab that on real good, covered up all the pits and all the imperfections, and most and better, and the basic thing, the reason why I was doing this is sealing everything from moisture and rain, and providing a tight, good seal. You can see right here how the panel is real tight up against the lower structure. When I clamped it down and screwed it down with self-tapping screws, and I was able to put the spot welds on there real tight. So the new panel is going to fit over this. That's why it's got this little ledge here. So that's going to be our next project, or our next move, should I say. I'm going to go from there all the way to there. There's still some areas there I need to clean and fix. And like I say, you know, rust is the gift that keeps on giving, because whenever you think you got some rust, believe me, there's more rust underneath. So I think I'm going to call it on this video for this one. This is going to be a part 1, 2, and 3. I think this is going to be the second part. And believe me, just to get here on this one, it took me a lot of hours to get this, you know, this far. You know, from fitting it and cutting off all the bad stuff and taking off, and I call it engineering, and grinding and drilling and cutting. It took me about a week and a half to get this far. So that's why sometimes these videos, they take a long time, but you know, I appreciate it, and thank you for watching. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and give me some comments, see what you think so far. But it's coming along. So the rear seat pan for the rear seat is done on this 1972 Pontiac GTO, 404 speed, matching numbers. So it's worth it. So like I said, thank you for watching, and until the next time, you have an awesome day.